VSR video breakdown of Decker Quintana. Had this kid in the facility yesterday. The video is bullpen. I've been telling him I'd do a video analysis on him, and I've seen some video of him throw. He showed me, but this is the first time I've seen him throw live. I was pretty impressed with just some of his natural tendencies that he has on the mound. Looked over his video a few times, and just that there's some things that he does in his delivery just elite. Really good backside push, unbelievable hip and shoulder separation, really good front side stabilization. There's definitely one big thing in his delivery that's holding him back from throwing as hard as I know that he wants to, and honestly how hard I know that he can just right now. But let's look at his delivery, and we'll get into that. So taking him up into leg lift. And I know my camera angle on here is kind of weird. I have my tripod set up, and this is the only way I can get the full screen in the video view. So up into the top of his leg lift. One thing that I like that he does is he is going up, he's gaining a bit of momentum going down. You know, I tell my guys that I like backside stack, and I know that's kind of conventional wisdom or whatever, but when you're teaching younger kids, one of the biggest problems I see is that guys do not control their bodies well going down the mound. Everything's really rushed. So, you know, with stack, we're looking at being in this line here, but one thing that he's doing well, he's still controlling his body all while moving, you know, kind of down the mound still. So I like that. So going down into right here, good hand separation, synced up with his leg right there. Good job of kind of foot coming back and holding that tension in right there with his hip. So that's good. One thing, good line here. I like this line with his leg. It's kind of a good mix between dorsiflexion and knee flexion. Dorsiflexion meaning his shin kind of coming to his toes, and knee flexion obviously meaning just his knee flexing right there. So one thing that I do like in the pitching delivery, not everyone's big on it, but I like the equal opposite. I like high front sides. So you can see him right here. I mean, that is pretty much the definition of equal opposite. So I like that a lot. I believe that it adds basically just another lever to the delivery, especially as you're kind of pulling here and into your chest, all while your arms coming up and around. So I like that right there for sure. All right, so here is where he really starts to get himself in trouble. Basically, you know, I mean, if you look at him from right here, it's good. Look at that. He's basically jumping. Okay, so, you know, I don't know if someone's told him to do that or if that's just kind of what he's naturally done, but I mean, he's barely on the ground, you know, as his foot is clearing out, you know, here. This foot, I mean, look, I mean, he's basically completely off the ground. So that's not taking his force in the correct direction. And I'll explain what that means here in just a sec. I mean, so you can see, I mean, he gets toe to heel going into the ground, which realistically doesn't create great stabilization. But as he goes into his throw, I mean, look at that front leg. I mean, it's like inverted. It's just crazy looking. I mean, a lot of guys, you're gonna see like a line with the leg, you know. But I mean, if I take this and actually try to draw up what his leg looks like, I mean, it's like It's like bowed right there. So that's elite. That's one of the things I'm talking about. But that is getting him in a lot of trouble. For the sheer reason of this, as he goes supposedly down the mound. Now, let's take him back to right here. His hips right here need to be traveling down and towards his target at the same time. Watch his hips. He basically goes up and then down. And you don't need to look at his hips just to watch the direction of his push. So if hips, obviously pretty much everything's connected, through there. If his hips are doing that, so is everything else. I mean, his force is basically doing this deal and then going into the ground. We need to be here. We need to be driving straight down and out at the same time. So if he can utilize, as good as that backside push is, because I mean, look at when his foot actually lands. I mean, we're getting a little bit of front shoulder pull. I think he could probably still get himself, well, foot's down right there. It's pretty damn good. But I mean, I think realistically he's athletic enough, he could probably even still be like right, well, pretty much is, I guess. But that hip and shoulder separation is legit, but it hasn't been pushed into the ground correctly. I mean, to truly utilize what that front leg stabilization is doing, which as the foot is coming into the ground, okay, so we're gonna say, let's just say for purpose that he doesn't have the jump and he comes into the ground kind of into this down and out force. That force from the ground is going to come right back up into his body and he's going to use it. But the delivery, I mean, all the power you're using is basically like electricity, or however you want to look at it. I mean, it's just getting lost right there. So for as good and as athletic as he is, he hasn't utilized the force that he's built up and that he's accelerating down the mound, because he's not going down the mound. He's basically jumping to foot strike and then attempting to make the pitch. And now we worked on getting his arm back a little bit, and dude started pumping a bunch of strikes. And he was just a little bit off time. He was a little out of sync with his lower body and upper body, but for the most part, like I said, his delivery is good. But I know this dude can be a legit, 90 mile per hour left-handed arm, but he's got to work on this. Dude. So, but into that throw, I mean, that front leg stabilization is just, it's like gross. It's so good. So, that's, he's got a lot of making of a good delivery already. Just got to shore that up. I told him I'd have him in the facility, once every week, or, every 2 weeks, whenever I got time to get him in. I want to help this kid a lot. But, I want to help him with throwing programs and whatever he needs. So, the biggest thing I told him, and as all my athletes know, I'm huge on the pre and post routines, the way you warm up, the way you cool down, your arm care, your mobility routine, the way you're recovering your body. And for this kid who's in college, he seems to know, seems to have an idea of what to do in the weight room and stuff. But my biggest advice for him, put weight on, man. Eat and lift, and lift right. If you don't know, hit me up. I'd be more than happy to help you with that stuff. So gonna have him on video again, like I said, in the near future, and I'll be sure to get up on the channel. All right, thanks guys.